Bank. This word can date back to 11th century in Venice. In 11th century, Jewish as merchants started doing deposit and loaning transaction. It is said that sailors would get loans from merchants and pay them back when they get back after sailing with high interest. However, due to the high risk of shipping, many sailors would fail to get back. Then some of the merchants would get out of the market with their broken bench, banco, the Latin word of bench, and then derived it into bank of nowadays. With the development of technology and financial activities, government of Venice decided to start bank, which is a credit from Venice government. In 1407, the first bank of the world, Venice Bank, was founded. How the banks can benefit? In the current world development of finance, the business of bank can be categorized into three basic parts: liability business, assets business, and middle business. To be more specific, it is deposits, loans and investments, and service charges. In order to benefit, banks would use different interests between loan and deposit interest. Taking JP Morgan Commercial Bank as an example, in 2019, its loan rate is 6.55%. Suppose you borrow from JP Morgan Bank with $500,000. Bank would finally get extra $32,750 benefit. In addition, banks would also get profit from middle business, such as service charge, agency sale of financial products like insurance and funds. So now we will talk about the bank clearance system. Every day, the agents of banks would calculate and clear transaction of bank accounts. Suppose B gave a check to A and A sends a check to the bank to get the cash. C transfers some money to A's account and A then transfers some money to his friend B. Transaction clearance is a huge project for banks in order to print your money from loss. Now we will talk about today's topic. Why is there such difference of mobile transaction between China and foreign countries? Why credit card payment is popular in foreign countries but inaccessible in China? How the credit card was created and expanded all around America? Why mobile transaction can flourish in China and finally turn into the new four great inventions? We will talk about these questions in the following two videos. The earliest credit card came out in 50s of 20th century. One day, Frank McNamara, forgetting his wallet while dining out at a New York City restaurant, was an embarrassment he resolved never to face again. Luckily, his wife bailed him out and paid the tab. After later in February 1950, he returned to Major's Cabin Grill with his partner Ralph Snyder. When the bill arrived, McNamara paid with a small cardboard card, known today as a Diners Club card. This event was hailed as the first super paving the way for the world's first multi-purpose charge card. Within a year, Frank's Diner Card Clubs has already developed into 42,000 people. For each club members, they should pay $18 per year as their membership fee. A total of 330 restaurants, hotels, and nightclubs now accept diners cards, which requires them to pay the diner club about 7% of the amount their cardholder charge. In March 1951, Diners Club processed $3 million of transactions and made a profit of about $60,000. By 1956, the annual transaction of Diners Club exceeded 290 million, with 9,000 gold merchants covering travel and entertainment business. In 1958, annual transactions topped 465 million, earning 40 million from merchants and annual cardholder fees. Diners Club has established itself as a leader in the credit card industry. However, with the prosperity of credit card business and its seemingly profit, more and more companies imitated the strategy of Diners Club, and even Bank of America and American Express created their own credit cards. Additionally, the credit cards of Bank of America then developed into current-day company Visa.
Let's go back to 1953, when American Express began to plan to enter the credit card market after watching the rise of Diners Club as a rival to American Express traveler chain. In 1956, American Express even considered making acquisition of Diners Club, even though the plan consequently failed. American Express finally entered the credit card industry with 17,500 specially contracted merchants and 250,000 cardholders through acquisition. After half a year, the number of cardholders had exceeded 600,000. In the late 1960s, the number of cardholders reached 750,000, and the amount of account signings exceeded $500 million, revealing the ambitions of American Express on the market of credit card. In 1959, Bank of America issued the Bank America card in California. Unlike Diners Club, Express, and Hilton Credit, being credit guarantee individually responsible for their cardholder, Bank of America created a franchise method that allowed banks with a license across the country to operate a Bank of America card. Licensed banks can operate independently under the Bank of America card brand, and all retailers that sign up with the chartered banks must accept all American cards. Bank of America charges franchisees an entry fee of $113,000 and a license fee of no more than 0.5% of a cardholder's transaction. Unlike American Express, Bank of America had more cash and better billing capacity, so its cards were more popular for consumers from the time they were issued. At the same time, a group of small banks on the West Coast that were not licensed decided to form a new group to prevent merchants from losing their deposits. So the Bank Midwest Card Association, a group of banks, they authorized their own banks to issue credit cards, which differed from the Bank of America franchise method. The Midwest Bank Card Association has introduced a cooperative method to compete for cardholders and retailers while sharing cardholders and retailers' resources. In this way, cardholders of either bank can use their cards at any retailers of the association bank. Any retailers, merchants of a bank can accept a credit card issued by the association bank. In addition, when the retailer accepts the credit card transactions of other banks, the issued bank of the retailer can get a certain commission share. The association later became independent in 1979 and became the second largest company in the credit card market now, MasterCard. In 1969, IBM developed a magnetic stripe standard that was eventually adopted internationally. The standard allows credit cards to use magnetic strips to transmit card information around the world, paving the way of the globalization of credit cards. 4 years later, in 1973, IBM invented the first POS machine. As a matter of fact, a cash register was established as early as 100 years ago to implement the function of POS machine. At that time, the cash register was designed to facilitate the supervision of employees and prevent them from stealing money. But with the spread of credit cards, more vendors need more convenient machines for transactions. In 1992, Microsoft's POS system was launched. At the same time, with the rise of the Internet, Microsoft had an absolute advantage in POS system. The connected POS system also further promotes the global credit card promotion, especially Visa and MasterCard in the global market. In 1960s, the bank credit card was widely welcomed by all over the country and developed rapidly. The credit card was not only popular in the United States, but also in Britain, Japan, Canada, and European countries. Since the 1970s, Hong Kong, Taiwan, Singapore, Malaysia, and other
regions
have also started to offer credit cards. Bank of America also saw the potential global market for credit cards as the credit card and its relative clearing business grew. Bank of America spun off the entire department into a new company called National Bank America. Later, in 1976, CEO D. Hock changed the name of the company to Visa in order to increase the company's influence and make their company credit card easier for consumers to remember and spell. With the establishment of credit card issuing and clearing institutions represented by the two major banking organizations, the former old credit card giant, Standard Club and Carty-Glenchie, another credit card founded by Hilton, gradually lost their competitiveness. In 1985 and 1965, it was acquired and merged by Citibank under the condition of poor management and continuous loss of credit card members. As a result, Visa and MasterCard account for 48.4% and 31.4% of the credit card market, respectively, and American Express 12.3%. At the beginning of the new century, with the explosion of the Internet and the rise of mobile Internet, Visa and MasterCard began to invest and attract more merchants in order to grab more market share.
Finally, with half a century of development, expansion, and acquisition, credit card has spread all over the world. We will talk about how the mobile payment developed and consequently turned into a universal payment method for Chinese people in next series.